that I'm going to be that interested in that just because I think that, typically the trade has been buy something up until the split, and then, right around when it splits, it sells off. So, I wouldn't be looking to like buy this right away. I think this maybe trickles down to about 100. So Amazon's going to be my main watch today, simply because we do have this gap from earnings. It seems to be decently strong compared to some other things. And we hit a high yesterday of 167.58. We hit a high on August 2nd of 168.77. And then I also have this 168 level marked off, and then also 169. So since we hit a high here post earnings of 168.77, that is where the gap starts. So I like to see the strength right now in the market. I like to see Amazon pretty strong right now. I think this, so there's two ways that I can look at this. I'm like, okay, well, this is Amazon's a slow mover. Do I really want to trade same week expiration today and catch a little move? Yeah, I could, and I may do that. But I also may buy next week 170 calls and just see if I can just, buy just kind of a smaller position on that and see if I can let it ride for like a full day. Maybe sell it tomorrow if we get a strong move. But I'm wanting this to kind of get up there. I think, above 170, this could easily go 175. But Amazon's a slow mover. So I think that I want to buy maybe next week contracts. I think next week is probably enough. I'm not looking to hold this for multiple days, maybe two at most, right? Hold it into Monday. But I'm a little skeptical of holding things over the weekend. So maybe I hold today and then we get a move up to 170-ish, 172. We sell. That's going to kind of be, do that at your own risk. I'll talk about when I do it. But again, anytime I swing, you guys know how it goes. I'm very, very light, looking for a little bit bigger percentage move, which means my stop loss is going to be a little bit wider. So again, that's going to be what I'm looking at today. I think I may take some sort of position. The thing is, I know I'm going to be trading the 170 calls. So being $3 out of the money right here at 167 on a Thursday on a stock that's typically pretty slow kind of worries me. I'd rather wait for this to get like above 168 and then really start moving. For me to put more size toward it and look for a little bit smaller move rather than going a little bit lighter and having to hold and deal with the stress and time decay and all that. That's why I would buy next week contracts as well, to kind of just drag behind me to pick up what I'm missing from not holding. Okay, so that's really all I'm looking at today. Someone on X wants to talk about NVDA. Yeah, so NVDA, I think it's pretty interesting. We closed under 100 yesterday. I'm surprised that this isn't starting to move here with earnings at the end of the month. But around 100, I think, is a decent spot to maybe start kind of buying and holding for, a week or two. I do think this will see some sort of run up into earnings. I think the market's kind of basing out a little bit after what happened last weekend. But again, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen overnight. Anything can happen overseas. The Japanese markets have been just super volatile. So for me, it's like, yeah, could I buy some NVIDIA and could it go up? Could I make some money? Yeah, but it also could chop around like we're seeing, and we can lose. So I think I'm probably going to stay back. If I could buy a bunch of shares, it doesn't matter if it's a bunch or a little bit, but if I could buy some shares on it and look for a $10, $15 move and whatever. But I think with options, I'm a little bit skeptical unless I get really far expiration. Yeah, so Amazon, I can probably just tell you now, it's going to be the 170 calls. Got about 2.5 minutes here until the open. So, Amazon's, I don't see it running $5 right off the open here. But yeah, so 170 calls, 23,000 open interest. That's pretty good. And I may load up on a different screen here the Amazon next week 170 calls as well. Those have 34,000 open interest, which I like. So I may buy a really small position on next week 170s and then look to day trade this week's. But yeah, so NVIDIA, I think this is a decent buy spot here, but the trade for me would be holding it for a couple days for like trying to see an earnings run up. So maybe like a full week. So hang on here, take breezy. Let's see here. So the other thing I want to mention is SMCI. They announced that they're going to split October 1st. This is, I mean, absolutely crushed. This can move $50 to $100 in a day. Part of me wants to be buying here for end of September 700 calls. They're really expensive. I think they're going to be about $3,000. So I don't know if you guys want to do that. That's really not something I'm going to signal. I don't even know if I'm going to do it because they got crushed on earnings. And typically with a split, that'd be good news. But other things came out that their margins went from 17% profit margin down to 11. So almost got cut in half, which is not good. That's why the stock is down so much. So could I buy that? Do I think this maybe could retrace to 600, 650, 700? Yes. If I take that trade, to me, it's really not something that I could signal just because it's really expensive and I don't want you guys throwing your whole account at it. So we'll see. I can still talk about it for sure. But that's just something else I want to point out. I mean, this is down $200 in a matter of like 5-6 days. Pretty big move. I think it's a little overextended with the split news. The pattern has been buying something, like I said, coming into a split, and then it ends up kind of selling off after a split. You can look at Chipotle, you can look at AVGO, right, Broadcom, and you can look at NVDA. All did the same thing. Pretty, not to a T, but that's kind of the pattern there that we've been seeing. So got about 25 seconds here till the open. Like I said, watching Amazon here. Going to see what it does at yesterday's high around 168. It's a slow mover. Again, I have 170 calls up for this week, and I also have 170 calls up for next week. The next week position would be a much smaller size. If it sells off today, I'm not going to be getting in. I'm going to kind of enter both of them at the same time, but obviously look to hold next week's longer. So next week's, wow, they're really cheap, $150. This week's are 30 cents right now, guys. Like I said, really, really cheap. Once we get back up to 168, if we do today, they're going to be more expensive. But we will see. Someone's got a hot mic. No. Okay, I fixed that. Sorry. All right. So instantly kind of got bought up here. Market's strong. I would like to see Amazon really make a good move today. So we will see. We're up pre-market here. These contracts are just super, super, super cheap. Dude, yeah. All right. We are now in the patience game. Things are up pre-market here, so I'm not surprised at this dip. Other than that, unless Amazon really starts moving up here, there's just no trades for me. Market's in a weird spot, right? I've talked about it for all week. We moved up really, really. We had a crazy breakout in June on a lot of things. And we've now had a crazy pullback this month. And we've now kind of retraced a little bit. So we're just kind of sitting in the middle of a range that I don't necessarily want to be involved in. So this is where you need to be a little bit more defensive. At least for me personally, that's what I'm doing. 3,000% trade. Yeah, defense stocks. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, anytime there's turmoil, for any sort of like war stuff, Lockheed Martin's obviously one that's been running for the last month. This is a crazy move here. We're just kind of like stalling out here. So until I see new highs, or maybe we roll back over and stuff gets resolved, maybe there's a trade there. What's the other one? What's the ticker? Is it Raytheon, I think? What's Raytheon's ticker, Pookie? I'm blanking on it right now. But yeah, PLTR, obviously, I mean, that's been a huge name. Everyone's watching. This had a massive dip down to 22 and instantly got bought back up. So I think that's interesting. I don't know that I'm going to be like buying here. I think I'd rather just kind of wait for this $30 break. That's going to be really exciting. So I have alerts up there, as you can see. When that happens, great. I'll be there for it. Until then, I'm not someone who's going to like really buy and hold that for now. Next, what is, oh yeah, so then Raytheon. I'm sure this one is up. And it's not loading. I don't know why Raytheon's not going up for me. That's kind of weird. I'm on the daily chart, RTN. I don't know. For some reason it's not pulling up. That's kind of weird. All right, so Amazon pulling back here, 164. Like I said, it's kind of a slow mover sometimes. So, if it doesn't make some sort of really strong move here soon, then we may just not get these levels today. Maybe it's a trade for tomorrow. Let's see. I would like to see it hold 164. If it can't, and this just kind of sells off, it is what it is. NVDA pulling back into 100, Tesla under 195 again. Coinbase 185. Meta is actually one of the stronger ones right here at 500. Starting to see Amazon kind of base out a little bit here. So maybe we can see a buy up through high a day here soon. But again, I'm just going to wait. No reason to buy 170 calls down here expiring in 2 days. Maybe you could take a starter on 170 calls for next week, but I'm just going to wait because this could stall out. This could roll back over. There's no reason to RTX. That's what it is. There we go. Thank you, Farouk. I guess I learned something every day too, right? So yeah, this broke out through highs again, but just like Lockheed Martin, we're just kind of we're just stalling out right here. So until we can see highs, maybe there's a trade there, or if we kind of roll back over, we do have a little gap here from like 109 down to 105. So I'm going to set alerts on the bottom and the top, and then whenever those levels get close, then I can then pay attention to it. But rule of thumb, if there's some turmoil overseas or here, or I think you get the picture there. But Raytheon and Lockheed Martin are like two of the main ones. Sometimes Boeing moves on that stuff, but Boeing's has had its own problems recently, as we all know. Tesla's starting to get bought up here. Amazon seems to not. New lows on that. NVIDIA kind of stalling out here. Tesla, like I said, bouncing a little bit. Meta broke 500 and rejected. SPY kind of chopping around as well. So we're in a waiting game. Let's see. I would like to see Amazon bounce soon here. I don't like seeing it a little bit weaker than the market. It's not at all what I wanted to see. But again, the levels are there for me. And until the price action matches what I want to happen, there's no trade. Could care less. Let's see. What else is going on here today? I know we got some earnings. So let me go and look that up real quick. So let's see. Today after close, we have Unity, Paramount, Trade Desk. Those will be interesting to watch. SoundHound. We had Eli Lilly this morning. Wonder what that's been doing with Ozempic. Gap up this morning and ended up selling off. What else? We had Robinhood yesterday after close. So that didn't do a whole lot. Aurora Cannabis, what'd that do? Not a whole lot. Lyft. Gap down on earnings the other day. Invax, that's another one. Gap down. Oxy, yep. Oil. Up a little bit. Not surprised. Oil prices are still high. Amazon selling off more. May not get this trade today. That's kind of unfortunate. That is unfortunate. All right. Well, now I kind of sit back and just see what else is going on here. NVIDIA's trying to bounce off 100, got bought up as it came down and tested that. SPY went from high of day kind of down into low of day. Yeah, Amazon's just done. It's kind of sad. Yeah, Gio, that's kind of what I'm feeling right now as well. Patience, guys. This is where you got to be on defense. If you get too aggressive on moves that don't really make sense and they're chopping around, you will lose money, even if it's a little bit. It's not worth it. NVDA, yeah, a little consolidation break here down into 100. 100 is obviously going to be a pretty big support. Closing under 100 yesterday, I thought was pretty interesting, and we ended up, kind of gapping up a little bit here. So up about 1 to 2%, 1.75% here on NVIDIA. So this is going to be a battleground here at 100. Our buyer's going to be able to hold it or not. Amazon's starting to bounce a little bit though. Scalped Apple, nice. What's that doing? Ooh, sell off. Apple also has that gap. That's kind of interesting. That might be another gap trade there. How did I miss that one? I would love for these gaps to start getting filled, but I just don't know. Let's see. What did the next week Apple like 215 calls look like? $200, that 28,000 open interest. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. We'll see. Amazon trying to come back and reclaim 164. Just seems to be kind of a weak opening on a lot of things here. So NVIDIA trying to get under 100 now. Apple kind of bouncing a little. Just so you know, like kind of what happened here. The jobless claims ended up coming out pretty good. And you can see the market reacted to that well. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at this pullback here, but I don't really want to see it just like retrace the whole move. I would like to see them kind of sell off here off the open, kind of like we're seeing. And then I would like to see some buying pressure here pretty soon. But right now, we're not seeing that. Amazon rolling back over. Google kind of choppy. Meta hit 500, rolled back over as well. Tesla chopped central. Apple back at lows. Amazon's trying to hold here again. We'll see. This is where I want to see things bounce, to be completely honest with you. I don't want to see much more of a sell-off on everything, but anything can happen. And so look at NVIDIA here, under 100, and look how this is starting to get bought up here. So again, 100 is going to be a battleground. Any other tickers or questions, guys? I'm just kind of going to be sitting back here a little bit. What else is going on here? We're seeing SPY kind of trying to bounce back up to high a day, sitting in about $1 range here, though. What broker is this? This is so what you're seeing right now, Ghosted, is Think or Swim. It's by Charles Schwab. This is what I've used forever. I always recommend it. So I don't buy and sell on here anymore, but I did for quite some time. So it's not a bad broker at all. It's free as well. Yeah, Amazon tested VWAP there. Apple's just hanging out at lows. See PLTR kind of chopped around. SPY. I mean, look at SPY here, guys. We hit a high, roll back over, coming back to lows. So this is just super choppy. Super, super choppy. Microsoft selling back off into 400. Apple can't seem to find any sort of love here. So it looks like all these gaps are getting rejected, which kind of sucks. We close weak today. Maybe everything just rolls back over. I don't know. We kind of have this uptrend here. You could see with the flat top here, right at like 213.50, 214. So we will see. Snow has entered bullish entry. What does this mean? So Snow's just gotten beat down really hard. And yesterday I saw that Quinch was talking about, if we hold 111 here, this is good. So, I mean, this is just a little bit more of a longer term play, SKZ. Not something that I'm looking to day trade. Did CS go down in the beginning of the week where no one go down the middle of the week when no one could log in? Yeah, so I think that, so like for me, I was fine. I logged in, but it was only because I got to my desk early enough. I logged in, about an hour before the open. And obviously with what happened over the weekend, like everyone was like in panic mode trying to log into their brokers around market open. And it just kind of crashed like a lot of platforms. So I was fine. I got in, logged in, everything before the craziness, but a lot of people couldn't, which was kind of crazy. Brody. Meta. Let's see what's going on with Meta. A lot of things hitting lows here. Meta, again, this is just kind of choppy. I don't love it. I would like to see some bounces pretty soon here. Apple right at 210. This is kind of where it needs to hold. We start holding under 210. These gap trades may happen next week. Amazon seems like it's trying to bounce. I can tell by the contract prices. Yeah, I am looking for a bullish entry, Brody. I am looking to trade the upside on some of these things. But the market everything's just kind of selling off right now. So I'm not going to buy into a dip like that. Sitting right here at 210. If nothing has some sort of aggressive bounces right now, then that just kind of is going to make me sit back and go sideline mode. I never know what the market's going to do, but we were up pretty nice and strong pre-market here. So I'm not surprised at a little bit of a sell-off, but I think this is getting a little aggressive, going a little bit further than I wanted. Amazon rolled back over. So you can see, like, look at Amazon here, right? We sold off, and now we're kind of basing. We're kind of going flat here, trying to make a move back above VWAP, maybe go for 165 again. I don't think we're seeing 168 today. Maybe if it slowly grinds up for the rest of the day. But I think that this trade, at least the day trade, is done. Apple can't seem to find any footing. Look how weak Apple looks. So that orange line you can see on my screen, that's what I drew. This kind of uptrend here. We break that. I mean, we could roll all the way back down to 200 in a day or two. NVDA going red on the day now, under yesterday's close. That's kind of interesting. We start breaking these pre-market lows. Things could get kind of nasty here. We may go in and test those lows from Monday. Tesla not as weak as you could tell. AMD, don't really love that. SMCI, look at this. I mean, look how big this move is today. Opened up 495, hit a high of 508, and now we're down at 482. Yeah, Gio, I'm not either. IWM. Let's see, up about 1% here. Wow, this pulled all the way back in after that crazy breakout. That's kind of interesting. Tesla new lows. Amazon rolled over for new lows. Apple making new lows. God, Apple's weak. Apple's one of the weakest ones. SPY, look at SPY. So SPY finally broke the its consolidation, and now we're dead in the water now. So what are some of the weakest things here? NVIDIA, Apple, Tesla's starting to get weak. The whole market is just kind of bleeding out right now. So definitely am not looking for the upside now. So maybe I can kind of change plans here and find some sort of trade to the downside. I don't love any of the levels that we're in because we already bounced and kind of retraced some of this move. And now we're like retracing the retrace, right? So we're selling back off. So a lot of indecision and like just change of direction on a dime here in the market. And that is where you can get hurt. So let's just be patient here, especially on a Thursday, trading same week expiration options. Just a recipe for disaster if you're not careful. Microsoft bouncing off 400 here. Tesla bounced kind of hard here. It looks like the overall market had a little bounce here on the 1 minute. NVIDIA, look at that. Not much of a bounce at all. That just screams weakness to me. Let's see what Apple did. Apple, really small bounce here, under 210. SMCI can't stop selling off. NVIDIA going for another low here. So I'm not going to just chase random lows for no reason. If I can see a bounce kind of on everything here, and then we roll back over, a lot of you guys that have traded with me know that that's like what I'm going to wait for. I will never chase a new high or new low just when something's ripping or selling off. So until that happens, I just have to watch this. I'm not going to let some lines on a screen dictate what I'm going to do with my money without any sort of plan, right? That would make logical sense. So until there's a bounce that I can then trade off of, the market can do whatever it wants. It can go in a circle, it can go sideways, or it can keep selling off. I'm not going to chase these lows. This is a lot more aggressive than I thought we would see here. NVIDIA's down almost 1.5% now. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room now down to 90, which maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't really know. Apple's kind of at a critical level here at this uptrend. So we will see. Starting to break. Getting a little overextended on some things. So I think we might see a bounce sometime soon. I think I'm going to be the most confident in taking a downside trade on NVIDIA, I think. Tesla is right at about break even, though. Nice Lord. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of a bounce here finally on some things. Let's see. What do these NVIDIA calls look like? Pretty nice gain there. So here we go. Here's our bounce. So I want this to kind of bounce for a couple minutes here. And let's see. The 98 puts don't look terrible. 97s aren't bad. The 95 puts have the most volume on NVIDIA. Meta is really strong, though. It kind of looks interesting to me. The market ends up bouncing. To me, that looks like one of the strongest names. So if we get a strong bounce here in the market, I may switch over to Meta. This is a day where I just have to gauge what's going on, what's strong, what's weak. Meta looks actually pretty good. I wanted to show you guys why I do this. So let's go 4 days ago. The market was selling off the open, and look what Meta did. Meta sat flat. I think some of y'all remember me talking about that. And then once the market bounced and kind of reversed, this was the strongest one because it held up the best compared to everything else selling off. And then it just shot and went from 480 to above 500. I think 502 something was the high. Yeah. So, those are things that you can do to kind of gauge what's going on. Okay, market selling off. This stock is going flat. That kind of proves that there's some buyers here, actually. We also have a pretty nice 500 level here. So this is something interesting. So I'm actually going to pull up the 500 calls on Meta and just see. They're $500, a little more expensive than I thought they would be. But this looks kind of interesting here. Market had a little bit of bounce, and this just instantly, got bought up, $3-4. So I do have the 500 calls ready to go in case I want to. The market had its bounce. It's starting to stall a little bit, so let's see what it does. Meta seems to not really care right now. There's a little wall back at 500. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with it, but look at this. Looks really strong here, actually. Market's starting to fly. I think I'm going to take a starter on this, maybe. Just kind of look for a new high break. It's doing exactly what it did 2 days ago. Let's see. It's a little risk. It's kind of a quick change of plans here, but the market bounced extremely hard. Let's just see what this does over 500. I took a really small position, but I'm just going to kind of sell on this break. I'm not looking for a crazy move here. Broke through 500 on the ask. I want to see the bid get above. We have kind of low volume right now. The spread on the stock is a bit wide. I'm looking at the 500. I mean, I just kind of tested it with the starter, but I mean, if we just pull back right here, I just get out of it. I think that if this does get above 500, though, it has room to run. This is definitely the strongest one here. This little pullback's okay. Even if it comes into VWAP and then bounces again, I kind of like this trade, though. Everything seemed to bounce. SPY went from low a day through high a day. So now this is kind of stalling here. I'm sitting break even. Nice, Lord. So now we're actually starting to pull back. The market's kind of wicking to the top side here. I don't know what I want to do here. I think I'm going to cut that starter here and just kind of wait. But I think that coming into VWAP, if this holds back above 500, this has a really good chance of going here. Market has a red candle. This pulls back. Volume's a bit low. We hit 500, broke through, rejected. So it kind of proves that that is some sort of strong resistance level. Let's see what happens. I'm in this super, super light, though, guys. Because I really just kind of, this wasn't a trade I had mapped out at all. Let's see if we bounce here, then go back for 500. If we bounce here strong and really start moving up, I think I'm going to add into this and just kind of sell on the new high around 501. That's nice. Back above 499. Market's starting to push again. Meta's starting to get a little bit aggressive here. These contracts are expensive, so if you're going to go way out of the money, then you need to be careful. I'm trading at the money, so I don't need to worry about time decay too much right now. So 499.39. I want to see this start popping up here pretty soon. 499.44. The bid is starting to pop up near the ask. That's what I like to see here. 499.60. Market's just kind of stalling right now, which I don't love. I want to see Meta going on its own. It's really moving slow right now. But above 500, that's kind of where this has a chance to get going. I haven't added anything yet. I'll add right around 500 if we start moving. The market's just going flat, and so is Meta. Big bounce on everything. So now we're pulling back. Back under 499. I would like to see this get bought up. I don't want to see this. I wanted to see it go on that candle. You had your pullback in the VWAP area, bounced up. Market hasn't really gone anywhere, and this just kind of pulls back. So that's kind of the first sign that I don't like to see. I'd like to see this get bought up and really start going here soon. Trying to get back above 499, get the bid there. The ask is above. Back under. This is not an A+ trade. So, I mean, I'm taking this extremely light. If you can't afford a $500 contract, then just watch this here. 499.20. The bid's back under. All it's going to take is a little volume spike here. This is gone. 499.40, 499.50, 499.60, 65. The bid's holding above now. The bid's starting to bounce up to the ask. That's good. I'm going to add here. Just looking for a break of 500. Market's ripping. If this doesn't go soon, I'm just going to get out break even here. I'm actually still small green. Still in light. 499.77, 85, 499.90, 10 cents away. Come on. High a day is 578 cents, 577. 99.80. Come on, Meta. This is going a little too slow for me. This looks like a good setup, though. Market's pushing. 499.80, 499.75. Still green. I could take this. That's not the trade. I'm looking for a break here. This could take off. If you're green and you want to get out, do it. I'm in really small, so I'm going to try to let this trade out here a little bit. The market is flying, and this is not going anywhere at all. So that's kind of the first thing that I don't like to see. 499.90. 98. Bids popping up. This has to go here soon. 97. I don't like that. The market rolls over. Oh, there we go. 500 on the ask. Meta is just kind of a weird one sometimes, so I got to let it move around a little bit. 500 on the ask. Come on, break through. There's not a wall there, so it shouldn't stall this hard. Come on, big fella. Pulling back a little bit. 500 again. We just got to get through 500. Bids starting to pop up. 499.98. 99. Boom. Broke through 500 on the ask. Come on, Meta. There we go. Get moving. Got to get that bid above. The ask is above 500. The bid is under. There we go. The bid just popped up. Back under. This is not trading well. Ask is above. There's just low volume. I'm waiting for that volume to come into this. NASDAQ is ripping. Come on, Meta. You were the strongest one here. Here we go. That's the move. That's the move. Selling half here. Looking for a new high on this, and I'm out. Meta's a slow mover, so I got to just give it some time here. Come on, give me this 501. I already sold half. Remember that. I got filled at 620 on those. I'm going to look for about 650 on this last half here. If not, I have a break-even stop loss set now. See if we can hold above 500 here. That'll keep me in this trade. If not, I'll just get out for small green. Holding above 500. We just tapped the new high. So really the trade was the break of 500, then a break of the new high. I could kind of start sending that. Just testing this 500 level again. If we get under it, then I'm out. Under it for a second here. If there's no buying pressure, I'm just going to get out of the rest of these. Market's still at high a day, but any sort of pullback on the market, I'm very disappointed in what Meta's doing. So to me, there's not that much buying pressure that I like to see on a move like this. So either this stock was going flat because there was low volume, which really there wasn't early on, or there was actually buying pressure. NQ now ripping here again. Wow, Apple and everything's back up. Tesla back up. NVDA back up. SPY ripped through high a day. Meta, Google, Coin. Beautiful. Come on, Meta. Yeah, that was an August 9, Jenny G. Yeah, that was a this week contract. Still in half here. I think there's still a chance that this can shoot. But part of me is like, the other side of me is thinking this isn't moving the right way. Just cut it. It's taking too long. Market has one red candle. And this starts to stall. I do like how it's holding 500. Someone's got a hot mic again. Fixed it. 500. Come on, Meta, do something here. This is just going nowhere. I like how buyers are trying to hold it above 500, though. But when it does that, that kind of proves that they're starting to give up unless this gets bought up pretty quickly here. So we just closed under 500. Green to red candle. I think I'm going to sell break even here. Yeah, okay, I'm out. Let's see what else. That was kind of a ugly trade, but anyone make money on that? That was kind of hard. It's a quick signal. Not really something I was expecting to trade. But I do like that we got a bounce on everything. Market starting to pull back now. It's probably what's going to kill Meta. It should have gone. If it really wanted to go, it would have gone when the market was running. It's all good, man. I'd rather you lose 30 cents early in your career than trying to go in with too much money and blowing up, you know? There you go. So Meta stalled out. Market was ripping. Market pulls back for 2 minutes, and then you see Meta pull back. The buyers just stepped away. I do think that there's still opportunity here, but we did get some elevated volume considering what it did here, but it just wouldn't get going. NVIDIA's back above 100, pulling back and testing it now. Starting to see this get bought off 99. You can see how slow these candles move. There's just not much volume. Lost 9. Okay, that's good. 9. And the contracts were kind of moving weird too. So I don't know. That was kind of a tricky one. Here we go. Now it gets bought up. I do still think this is going to go for high day, but we'll just have to see. Wow, look at that. Are you kidding me? There it goes. In one candle. Boom. Let's see, Chris, what did you say? Amazon. See, that's kind of why Meta's hard. Now I think this is going to start going. Could we buy again? Sure, but I'll take my money. Yeah, so let's see. Amazon. Yeah, wow, Amazon back to 165. I like that. I don't know that I want to start that swing right now just with the way this was moving. God, Meta's so choppy. I don't know how that got that kind of buying pressure out of nowhere, but Hood, what's Hood doing? Selling off for a little bit. Meta starting to go. I think this has a chance to freaking blast off, but it's going to be hard to gauge that. I don't want to be buying in at highs and then have to deal with the 20% loss on a pullback. There it goes. Wow, 675 a contract. My fill was 580. There it goes. That sucks. Did anyone hold and got lucky? Broke the rules. NVDA not doing a whole lot. Amazon, like I said, bouncing a little bit. Apple bounced back pretty nicely as well. We're kind of right off that trend line too. How do you think NVIDIA will finish the week? Hard to predict right now. Honestly, I wish I could give you a prediction on it. But right now, with the way the market's moving, I think anyone who thinks they can predict what's going to happen is ridiculous. Anyone could say a stock's going to go up or down, and then it does for a completely different reason than what they thought, and then they're going to say that they were right. Right? No one really knows what's going to happen. Look at Google. See, this is what I wanted Meta to do. And it just took a little bit for Meta. But you see, we kind of went flat all day as the market sold off. And then we got through the high of the day and then we ripped. This is the exact move that I wanted to see on Meta. And then it just stalled. So, I mean, maybe, sometimes Meta just is a little bit of a lagger because it's it's a bigger stock share-wise, right? It's $500. It's not like $100, $100 stock where you have some more volume in it. But that's kind of why I wanted to be patient with it. But holding through that pullback and all that, like I wasn't going to go red on that trade. There's no chance. But now here it goes, 680 a contract. Would have been up $100 a contract on 500, and so about 15-20% trade there. I held until now. So it didn't make a whole lot, but I'll take what I did. Amazon's still sitting at 165. So it's going to be interesting, right? Pretty strong sell-off today at the open. We're starting to retrace back up. Markets are kind of ripping out of nowhere. We would like to see things close above their opening price today. Okay, so like Amazon, I want to see Amazon close above 165.5 today for sure. Apple, I would like to see it close around 13 to 13.5. If things roll back over to lows, then we could get interesting to the downside. So we'll see. We've retraced kind of half the move on a lot of things, except for something like Google that just kind of went crazy out of nowhere. Microsoft ended up making new highs on the day, but look at SPY here. SPY is really moving. Amazon 165. Wow. It came back on everything. You guys have other questions or other tickers you want me to go over? YouTube and Twitter, I can do the same for y'all. For some reason today, I thought today was a premium stream, but it's just my lesson tonight. And then my Mondays are my CDT question mark. I mean, I don't, you guys, I can tell that some of y'all are new, but when you throw tickers at me, I can look at them and say, okay, yeah, it looks strong or weak, but especially because I don't trade penny stocks. So I only trade like the big mega cap names. So when you throw a ticker at me, like CDT, for example, like, is there some news behind it? Is why you're interested in it? I can see that volume's been spiking this last week for sure. So is there news that came out? Are you long? Are you looking to short it? Where are you in? What, do you have any targets in mind? Because right now I can just kind of tell you, like, this is a 30-cent stock. It's had a high of almost $13. And it's now really just doing nothing, but there's volume spiking. So I'm guessing there's news. Massive runner today. News came out. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I can see that for sure without even knowing what the news is. It's something that I'm going to be interested in JR. Not really, just because it's just not a stock that I like to trade. Like I said, meta contracts are at 7. So yeah, it's not really on my radar, but there are people that simply trade this stuff, so maybe reach out to Pookie's Revenge or Mr. SLP Mad Maverick. They may be looking at this. I know that they sometimes trade smaller stocks for sure. So hang on. So what's next? You do IWM. Yeah. So, I mean, IWM, what I could tell you on that is it ripped whenever they talked about cutting interest rates, and it's a guarantee because that would be good for smaller businesses. And so money came out of the big tech names and went into IWM and smaller caps. And that's why this ran from, 200 to 230 and then instantly came all the way back. And now we're sitting in a range. So from a day trading perspective, am I interested to trade it in the middle of all of this chop? Absolutely not. I would have been involved in this move here, or maybe this move down, but that's about it. When it starts chopping around, I don't really care too much about it. But maybe we bounce from here. If we cannot hold 200, maybe we start seeing, the mid 190s, low 190s. Intel, yeah, crazy move recently on that earnings. I was waiting for this for a while in this consolidation area, and then we bounced, so I took it off my radar. We came back in, and then earnings just killed it. So, I mean, I wasn't really involved in that, but that would have been a really awesome short to just stay short after earnings. But that's something I would have done with shares most likely. Oh man, guys, everything's running on me now. So see how crazy this is? We see crazy sell-offs to start. Look at Meta. See, that's what I wanted. That just would have been a really hard hold. Contracts at 740 now, almost $200 higher than when I bought. Ouch. Let's see. Apple back up here. What was the other one? Amazon 165.15. PLTR is going crazy here. When this $30 level comes around, I'm going to be excited for that. Okay, so yeah, sorry, snow. Yeah, so I talked about snow this morning before the market opened. I mean, it's just been beat to death with some recent bad news, but I do think it's still a really good company. I think a lot of people that I know that do a little bit more longer term investing love this stock. So I saw that Quench likes to, want to be a buyer above 111 or at 120. I think anywhere kind of in this area from 120 to 110 is a pretty good buy spot, but more from a longer term sense on snow. Yeah, 740 a contract. This is insane. That would have been a hard hold though. But sometimes that, that's a perfect example on just kind of knowing the personality of the stocks, right? I talked about during that trade, Meta sometimes is just kind of a slow one. So I want to be patient with it. It broke. I caught my, like 8, 9, 10% on that and just got out, and then sold the other little bit for very small green. Could I have just sat in that and said, okay, maybe I'll give like a 498 stop and I'm looking for like 502, 503 because that would make sense? Yeah. And if I held and could deal with that, then yeah, I make my 35%. But this wasn't something that I already had thought out and planned out. So I just was going to take the little bit and run. But, once again, you can come in with any sort of plan. Like today, I wanted to see the upside, and we got nothing but just selling pressure off the open, right? Everything sold off. 30 minutes later, we've now bounced and come back to high day on some things. So that's kind of why I never want to like chase lows or chase highs, because you can get caught in a V-shaped reversal just like this, right? People could think, you know what, this is it. NVIDIA's finally done. We're going to go back to 90. I'm going to play this new low. Bounces a little bit, play the new low. All right, I'm going to target like 96. And then it bounces. And then you maybe add some, thinking, okay, everything was so weak this morning. Oh no, we're back at 100. It's got to reject at 100. Buy more puts. Chops around. All right, here we go. Starting to roll back over. Bounces again. And then you're stuck. You're now in with, 3 times what you wanted to be in. And the stock is reversing through high a day. And now you're underwater and you're mad and trading's rigged. Just because you didn't use proper risk management and you were too confident and too biased, right? So I came in with my plan. It didn't happen. I looked around, found something that looked interesting, traded it a little bit with super small size, so there's just almost no risk on the table, made a little bit of money, whatever. But the stocks didn't do exactly what I wanted. So I'm not taking full-size real trades right now. That's really just kind of another example of risk management. Everyone can have a stop loss and a percentage win or loss, but another really important part of risk management is knowing when to trade and when not to trade, and when to put size on and when to not put size on. What's a full-size trade for you? If it's like a AA plus setup I've waited for a long time on, I don't know. I never like talking money because I don't want anyone to have some unrealistic picture of wins or losses on their account, because everyone's account size is different. But I don't know, maybe around 10,000, 15,000 on an A plus trade. I'm also trading options. So, I gotta, I don't want to be putting in much more than that, because if I'm going to risk 15, 20%, that means I'm risking 1,500 to $2,000. So, but again, it doesn't, I don't want anyone to think in monetary value, right? I want you to think in percentage gain or loss. If you have $1,000 account, I think you should be really happy with making $20 a day. You can make 10% on your account a week. Think about if you can make 10% on a $100,000 account, right? So you can always add a zero at the end of it. A lot of people get into trading, me especially in my early years, right? Like you guys know, I started when I was 15 years old. I wanted to be rich tomorrow. I wanted to be, the cool kid who can go buy a Ferrari tomorrow, right? Which is just ridiculous. So you have these unrealistic goals with the amount of capital you actually have to trade with. And that's the fastest way you can blow all your money, because you're going to be sizing way too heavy, not taking, your profits when you should, because man, I don't want to make $50. I want to make $200. And then besides just, you caught a really good trade and the $50 doesn't feel like a lot. So you hold it, trade goes against you red, and then you lose money. Little things like that, which is where the psychology is so, so important. Looks like things are starting to roll back over here. Meta, not so much. Google a little bit. Amazon a little bit. Apple a little bit. These are healthy pullbacks. So that was a big bounce. Stocks have to breathe, right? They have to go up and down and up and down. What other questions you guys got? I'll stick around for probably another 10, 15 minutes. Then I'm going to record that lesson for you premium guys tonight. And we will go from there. Later, Farouk. Take care. Man, Meta's not going to stop. That really sucks. Anyone catch any other trades or make some money? I traded the 500 calls on Meta. That was my only trade today. I talked about maybe getting in some Amazon swings. Haven't done that. Honestly, want to consider Apple as well, but it's the same setup. That means they could both work or they could both not. Made money on Amazon. Good, man. I don't know that I love that you chase those lows, but I'm glad you were confident. And, just kind of getting in and out. Nice, RB. I think those will work out pretty good. Most people these days, I did SPY trade 10% testing theory of mine, so I cover that. I lost that. So I did it. That's good. That's awesome, Vans. I love that. There was definitely some opportunity today. It was just kind of hard to find if you didn't have any sort of plan. You kind of had to just be, you kind of just had to react to what was going on. That's kind of why I traded Meta. But, let's see what else. Most people these days want to get rich quick, and I'll be honest, that caught me out when I was in my early 20s. Since last year, I've started investing monthly. Nice, Ghosted. That's awesome, man. I should probably start some sort of like retirement account or put money into it. Let's see, I have March 25 calls. Yeah, okay, that'd be good. RB. Why do stocks go down even though earnings are good? Example, Hood. So, kind of back to the psychology of it, Daytone. So, like for something like, let's just say NVDA, for example. Let's say that obviously NVIDIA has been like one of the biggest stocks in the world. It's had a lot of popularity, AI, blah, blah, blah. The expectations are really high for their earnings, right? So if their earnings come on par, right, and like that doesn't mean that they're bad. They're actually good earnings, but they didn't like really like beat expectations for people to want to invest in this more, the stock will fall. That's a lot of the times you see like a sell the news situation. The stock may be running the 2 weeks before earnings up, 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 up. Earnings come out, still good, but not like unexpectedly exceptionally good. Stock will fall. Doesn't mean it'll fall a lot, but sometimes it will. On the other hand, something like Tesla, for example, could sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off. Earnings come out, earnings expectations are bad. Earnings still comes out bad, but not unexpectedly like, worse than people think, or maybe not as bad as people think, but still bad. The stock can go up. So that's just the crazy world of the stock market for you. So a lot of the times where you have like sell the news events, like for the Apple, when Apple came out with their, like new like AI stuff, or whatever, they had an event during the summer. It kind of ran up into the event. They announced some stuff that people were expecting. The stock sold off. So does that make any sense to you at Daytone? Nice, Jelly. I broke the rules and I held at 30%. I can't complain, but it's a little scary. So you held on Meta, I'm guessing. I have a Tesla swing for next week. Also, I have NVIDIA leaps too. Nice. I think it's worth being long some NVIDIA up into earnings. I wouldn't hold through earnings unless you had a leap. Kenny Penny, yeah, Meta was kind of hard. If it was scary for you, I think that you may have been in a little too heavy. But if you caught 30% on it, you actually held and got the move, and I'm sure you're happy. Microsoft 405. Something like that, Kitty. Until I'm not. Couple new people in here, though. We've lost a little bit because people are starting to go on with their day. But any new guys? Do you have any questions on like the premium side and the coaching side? Anything like that? And look at NVDA here. This actually kind of looks interesting. Little cup and handle action. Most are gold. That's a good way to put it. Crazy recovery. Tesla running. I think I'm joining pre after a few weeks testing the waters, but can I choose who my coach is? Yes, that's the whole point of it. So like for me, I'm more of a day trading guy. So I do like the shorter term stuff that you saw this morning. We have people that do swing trading, which is a little bit slower. We have people who do like more investment stuff. And we also have like a passive options coach. So again, slower, kind of a slower style. But you know that also means that we kind of hit every box, right? We have the really fast-paced stuff with me all the way until the slower stuff. Yeah, Tesla's running. Everything's ripping through freaking high a day right now. It's insane. I didn't think we'd see high a day for a while, but once again, guys, like it looks like there's a lot of money to be made here, and you know maybe there is some sort of opportunities, but this is so unpredictable. I mean, look how aggressive we sold off and then aggressive we got bought up. If you weren't taking profits on one way or the other, you know, where you should have, you get stopped out on the other side because the stock just kind of retraces the entire move. This is just insane. So I'm okay with sitting back on this. Who's the first time with the opening range break strategy? Because the meta trade happened perfectly if using the 15-minute. Actually, the trades have all worked. The one side back to if you use that strategy, it doesn't look so scary. Then yeah, 100%. So that's sometimes where like on meta, I probably should have backed off from the 1 minute chart and gone to the 5 minute chart just so it looks a little bit cleaner, right? So let's look at the 1 minute here. Maybe that's kind of a reason I just got out small green in the last little bit because you got this little pullback here. But this is the 1 minute. If I go to a 5 minute, looks a little bit better, right? No real reason to get out. All these candles are green. Next, we have, even if I go in the 2 minute, and Vans here is talking about the 15 minute. I bet that looks beautiful. Yeah, look here. You have your opening range break. Opening range would be this candle here, and you have your low, and you have your high. Broke through 500, broke through the high, and there's your opening range break. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. Google made new highs. SMCI hasn't really done a whole lot. I really kind of want to take a stab at that, but that's a bit risky. Apple 212 again, hit 212.5. I want to get better at day trading QQ and SPY, specifically looking to build my account 50K, then switch to cover calls or puts. I just need someone to help me out. Yeah, I mean that's what we're here for, Don. So again, I'm day trading. If you want to do passive, like covered calls and stuff like that, the swinging bull is your guy. For you guys that want to swing trade things a bit slower, you have Mad Maverick here. So again, we kind of check every box from every style of trading you could want, but that also means you don't want to flip through all the coaches too quickly. You want to actually spend, we have a 12-week thing, right? We have 12 classes, and you at least want to finish all of that before you consider a different coach. The last thing I want to do is strategy hop and try to trade the market 15 different ways. Microsoft, yeah, I mean Microsoft was moving pretty crazy. What about it, MJR? Day trading a new passion. Well, there you go, man. It definitely it caught my attention early on in my life, and I stuck with it. And now I got 1 year left of college, and I couldn't ask for a better job. I'm just finishing college just because kind of being told to. But after this, for you guys that are new, like, I've worked on some trading floors and stuff. So I got quite a bit of experience so far in my years of doing this. I'm almost 6 years now. It's just kind of crazy to think for me, but it was worth every hardship I went through to get to this point. And then I found a insanely good chat room here. And luckily they trusted me enough to work with them. I'm almost 30 again, thinking about a retirement fund and all this adult stuff. Day trading. Yeah, everyone wishes they started earlier, right? But you never can. So start now. Put the time in. To me, there is no better job in the world. I can show up here and I can trade for 1 hour, or I don't have to trade. If the market's not good, then I can sit here for 10 minutes, don't like anything, move on. I love to teach, and I love talking about the markets, watching the news. So I mean, it's fun for me. How do you know whether it's a bearish wedge or a flag or pennant? So I mean, if it's bullish or bearish, it's just kind of whichever way the stock was going before it made that pattern. If you're looking at my screen here, let me just like really zoom in on like a little section of my chart here. So like, let's see, a bearish wedge or flag or pennant. So a wedge would be more like this. A bull flag would you'd have your move up, and then you kind of have that flag pattern. And these are all kind of bullish. So like, maybe the stock comes up in here, bounces in here, bounces in here, bounces in here, and then you get your break. But it could also go this way, right? So you never really know. And same for this, right? The stock comes up in here, bounces, 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 and goes up. But you can just flip these upside down and look at it. And yeah, I mean, you have all your fancy words like, wedge or flag or pennant or all that. Just think of price making a strong move in one way or the other, consolidating, kind of coiling up like a snake, and then it makes its break through to the upside or to the downside. Kind of like snow right now in the 1 minute. I mean, I can look. Hang on, let me delete all this stuff here. This looks ugly. Then I'll get to that. And then I got to get out of here soon. Okay. Snow in the 1 minute. Let's see. I mean, yeah, kind of. Oh, wait, sorry. This is a 5 minute. I mean, yeah, I mean, snow's not something that like trades a lot of volume to begin with, but yeah, you can kind of see something here, right? We broke out of that, and now you kind of have like, this looking thing here. Do I ever want to take a trade simply because the stock is doing this? No, I want there to be some strength or weakness or news or a good level that I like, or, other reasons for sure. But this is just kind of added confirmation. Yeah, ghosted. It's it's just the time outside of the charts. It sucks. And if you don't have time to trade the market open every day, then maybe you just have to learn swing trading so you can kind of buy and hold something for a couple of days or a week or something like that. I've just found that I'm not the best at that because I'm gonna constantly be checking it and be a little bit more emotionally invested in it than I wanted to be. And again, I tried many different styles of trading, and then I just kind of over time figured out what I'm better at, stuck with it, and here we are. And to me, I love it because I can trade for an hour and be done. Sometimes I'm done the first 15 minutes. Meta, look at Meta here, 504, 785 a contract. Ouch. Almost a 50% trade would have been. Sweet. Well, then I hope to be seeing you around here more. Ghosted. Yeah, NVIDIA's up. NVIDIA's still going. A lot of things now are just kind of slowly making new high, new high, new high. I mean, look what NQ did, right? The NASDAQ. Pre-market, market open was right in here, sold off, and we just have not stopped. So, I mean, how can you predict that? I don't know. You tell me. And look at SPY, right? It's going to be pretty similar. So, crazy day. Made a little bit of money. Not mad at it. Obviously, I wish it was more, but I'm going to take what the market gives me. Yeah, that's good, Kenny. All right, guys. Well, any other questions you have for me before I head out? Got to get this lesson recorded, then I got to get back on the road. Mom's turning 55 today. I think 54 maybe. Yeah, thanks, NJR. Thanks for being here. Top 3 tips for beginners. Don't think about the money and don't think that it's going to be something that you're going to pick up in a week. This is going to take months, if not years, right? If you want to be a professional basketball player, it's going to take many, many years and many, ups and downs. And I always like to, kind of compare trading to professional sports because every basketball game is never exactly the same, right? LeBron has good games, bad games, scores 70 points, scores 10 points, right? But it's the consistency is why he's so good. And that is, that ties into trading. Another tip for a beginner is the guys who do this for a living, and again, I've worked on trading floors with guys who have done this for over 40 years. If you think that you're going to wake up 10 minutes before the market opens, sit at your desk and listen to someone named Ethan tell you to buy and sell something, and you're going to end up being successful at this, that's not going to happen. You need to be here at least be getting out of bed an hour before the open, like at the very least. And then journaling is another one. Write down why you bought this stock, where you bought it, how you bought it, what you did good, what you did bad, what were your emotions, what was the trade plan, why did you even consider this stock? Did it meet your criteria? What was the overall market doing? Stuff like that. It's, to get good at this, you have to really, trading is going to bring out a lot of your problems in life. It's going to really show you who you are. Are you a disciplined person? Are you an emotional person? Or can you stick to a plan? There's so many things. So that's a couple for you, DEFCON. But over time, you'll learn more. Do you do this live stream every day? So right now, I do Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And we are in the talks of me doing Wednesday mornings now. So I hope that you guys will like that. I know I got a lot of people wanting that. So we lost about half of our listeners already today, but they will find the news at some point, I'm sure. So Ellie, that's what I do. And then Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I do free lessons where I go over topics kind of like DEFCON was talking about. It's nothing planned. I'm there to answer questions, kind of chart, talk about what I like for the next day or whatever. And Thursday nights I do my premium lessons. Again tonight, I unfortunately will have to cancel the live lesson, but I will get a recording up for you guys and send it in. It's over my brokerages, so it's not going to be like a super in-depth lesson on like trading specifically. It's just kind of like why I use my brokers, what they look like, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll get that recording out. Any other questions, guys? I'm gonna head out of here. Which days do you trade? I trade every single day, Monday through Friday, but I live trade Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and we are in the works of getting me trading Wednesday mornings as well. Am I a full-time trader? If you're listening to anybody that's not a full-time trader, then you shouldn't be listening to them. So yeah, this is my job. I just kind of do the teaching stuff as more of like a side hustle, and I enjoy it. And honestly, like a good point on this is I don't teach because like I necessarily like desperately need the money to do it at all. I teach because it keeps me going over the fundamentals over and over and over again. At the trading floors that I've worked at, they make you partner with someone who's done this for 20, 30 years. And so it mutually benefits both of them. You have someone who's done it for a long time who can go over the process over and over and over again. Because it's hard for me to tell you, I'm doing this, these are my rules, and then doing the opposite of that, breaking my rules and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I do this because not only will it hold me accountable and make me trade good, it'll help y'all, and I enjoy it. And, you know, freaking awesome community. So what are your views on copy trading? I don't know what that is. If it's like when you trade on one account, but it like copies into multiple different accounts, then I mean, it's all just money, right? At the end of the day, either have one big account or you have multiple small accounts. I don't know. How long did it take you to go full time? About 2.5 years, I would think. Obviously, I had big ups and big downs during those years, but once I got to like 2.5, 3 year mark, that's when I could actually make enough money to support myself at a young age before I have wife and kids and stuff like that. What's the best way to learn trading? Experience and time. I mean, you're just going to have to really put the work in. Like anything in life, right? This isn't going to be easy. If you think it's going to be easy, then move on. This isn't for you. And if you're not willing to put the work in, then I don't have much interest in helping you, to be honest. I want you to want to do this and take it seriously, because that's where I know that you'll be successful. And that's what I want. I don't want you to just lollygag through this and think that I'm going to give you some sort of magic words or some like key to success. It's just not going to happen. I can give you all of the puzzle pieces, but you're going to have to put it together yourself. And walking me through the trade with my account, automatically copying there's proportionally. I don't know of anyone that actually does that, Dead Poet, but I mean, this is, I guess, somewhat of copy trading, because I'm telling you guys exactly what I'm buying and what I'm selling and when I'm doing it. So I mean, you're kind of copying what I'm doing, but I don't know of any professional trader that's just going to let you like just automatically tie your account to theirs and trade exactly how they do it. I've never heard of that. Well, NJR definitely, I would say both, at the same time. I mean, start paper trading for sure, just to kind of get your feet wet on how to buy and sell and what it's like to look at a chart and stuff like that. To be completely honest with you, I never paper traded, which is probably stupid, but I was 15, so I wasn't smart. But yeah, just like Stickman said, like paper trading is good to learn the platform, how to like use the buttons and the tools and kind of what a chart looks like and that stuff. But anyone can be good at paper trading because there's no actual real risk on the table. You're not using real money. And yeah, just like you said, like backtesting new strategies, but nothing will prepare you for how to actually trade and, from the emotional side of things when you have real money on the line. So I never want people to like paper trade for like years or like, more than like 6 months, or whenever they're comfortable, like with their software and the amount of money that they're willing to put on and risk and stuff like that. But like I said, nothing will prepare you for what it feels like to put real money on. I'm to the point now where like I don't have those like nervous like butterflies in my stomach before the market opened and stuff, but I did for a long time. Now it's just very slow. What's up, Latvian? Kinda. I mean, traded Meta is okay. I made like some lunch money on it or whatever, but nothing too special. Kind of a weird day. Big sell off at the open, and then things just like got bought up and started ripping. So this market is just insane. Yeah, and ghosted. A big thing that I talk about with many people is if you're in a trade and you're nervous and scared. I mean, obviously early on you're going to kind of be nervous and scared regardless. But if you're nervous and like tapping your foot or you feel sick or whatever during a trade, down the line, months down the line, that I can instantly tell you you're sized too heavy, meaning you have too much money on the line. You should find that kind of zen area where, you know what, like this amount of money I'm not nervous about, and I'm willing to lose X amount, and I know that I can probably make this amount. And once you find that, and then you're calm and you're emotionless, that's where you're going to trade well, because you're not going to be basing anything off of how you feel. You're just going to be trading what the stock in the market's doing. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I love talking to y'all, but I got to get going. If you have any other questions, wow, Tesla's going for 200. Pretty insane. But again, don't care what the market does. I'm going to do my thing. All right, guys. Yeah, thank you. As always, I'm going to get this thing recorded for you premium people. If you have other questions throughout the day, just just ping me in the chats. You can, you're definitely have to do like free chat for you free guys, but you premium guys, I'll be in my Ethan trading chat or whatever, and then you guys know how it goes. Yeah, wow, Amazon, Apple going for high day here. I would love to see these close strong because maybe we can get that gap trade tomorrow. Everything's ripping. Microsoft's got, or sorry, it's Amazon. This gap on Amazon looks great. All right, y'all. Have a good day. I'm out. Later.